What if I told you that you could accurately predict in advance any card at any number, randomly selected by anyone, using a self-working mathematical method? No psychic abilities required. The magician presents a deck of cards and confirms they are all different and completely mixed. The magician gives them an extra cut and a few extra shuffles to ensure the cards are thoroughly mixed. As you can see, there is nothing fake or false about these mixes. The magician then explains that the two jokers will be removed and a couple spectators willing to participate will be needed. The spectators are instructed to place each of their jokers into any location in the deck. 2 cards from spectator number 1 and 2 cards from spectator number 2, leaving 4 random cards selected by 2 different participants. And these cards will be different every time this routine is performed. The numeric values of each card are then added together. 5 plus 8 is 13, plus 5 is 18, plus 10 is 28. So in this particular scenario, using the 4 random cards, our number is 28. Please note, an ace equals 1, jack equals 11, queen equals 12, and king equals 13. The 4 randomly selected cards are placed back in the deck, and the magician does one final, very thorough, completely fair mixing and shuffling of the cards. The magician then uses the random number generated by the participants and begins counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. This is the 28th card from a completely shuffled deck. It could have been any one of these cards. The magician then explains that a single card was removed from this deck of cards and placed inside this envelope. The purple prediction card. I hope you enjoyed that. That was another Tom Matrick original card trick using a normal deck of cards. If you're wondering how it works, then stick around because I'm going to show you how to do it. But just remember, if you don't want to know the secrets, then watch no further, because once you do know, you can't unknow. Let's give a couple seconds for those who don't want to know. Okay, here we go. First, here are some things this method is not. No marked cards, no gimmick cards, no deck switches, no size-stebbin stack, no mnemonica stack, no memorizing an entire deck of cards, no sleight of hand, no second deals, no bottom deals, no shills or stooges, no magician's choice, no magnets, no cell phones.
I think you have the wrong number.
No electronic number generators, and no AI, just a good IQ. This is a self-working card trick without any sleight of hand, so the secret is in the setup. It only takes about 5 or 10 minutes and is prepared ahead of time. So when you begin performing, all the dirty work has already been done and it's completely undetectable. This is the setup. Grab a normal deck of 52 cards and remove 2 of the aces and 2 of the kings, preferably 1 of each suit, and get rid of them. We're only going to use 48 cards. Nobody will ever notice that you're not playing with a full deck. Yeah. We're going to quickly stack the deck using 2 key numbers, 13 and 15, alternating between the two. So begin with any card you like. The next card will be a card that, when added together, equals 13. If you begin with a 4, the next card is a 9. 4 plus 9 equals 13. The suits don't matter, just keep it random to help keep it camouflaged. Alternate to the key number 15. The next card will be a card that, when added together, equals 15. So the next card is a 6. 9 plus 6 equals 15. Alternate back to number 13. The next card is 7. 6 plus 7 equals 13. The next card is 8. 7 plus 8 equals 15. The next card is 5. 8 plus 5 equals 13, and so on. 5 plus 10 equals 15. 10 plus 3 equals 13. 3 plus 12 equals 15. 12 plus 1 equals 13. When you come to an ace or a king, repeat the key number 1 time. We have an ace, so place another queen to make it 13, and then alternate to 15. So the next card is 3. 12 plus 3 equals 15. 3 plus 10 is 13. 10 plus 5 is 15. 5 plus 8 is 13. 15, 13, 15. We've come to a king, so repeat the key number 1 time, place another 2 to make it 15 again, and then alternate to 13. The next card is a jack. 2 plus 11 equals 13. Continue this until all 48 cards are stacked. When the stack is finished, the last card added to the first card will equal one of the key numbers 13 or 15, making a complete circuit, meaning you can cut the deck as many times as you like, and the circuit will not be broken. 15. When someone places a joker in the deck, I'll do it face up so you can see, the 2 selected cards will always equal 13 or 15. When the 2 jokers are randomly placed in the deck to select the 4 cards, there are 3 possible number totals. If it's 2 13s, the total is 26. If it's 1 13 and 1 15, the total is 28. If it's 2 15s, the total is 30. So the total will always be 26, 28, or 30, no matter what. Next, determine the card that you want to be the prediction card. It can be any card your heart desires. We'll use the 4 of diamonds just like the performance. Thumb through the cards until you come to the card you want to use. There it is. Cut the deck. Count 28 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, and cut the deck. 28 cards down is your prediction card. Turn it over, look at the face card, and remember it. This is your key card. In this case, the key card is the 2 of spades. Place 1 joker on top of it, a couple cards from this end, another joker, and 1 more card from this end. Place a matching card that matches your prediction card into an envelope ahead of time, or you can write it on a piece of paper. Have the envelope in full view, and you're ready to begin. Here are the cuts and shuffles. They are real cuts, not false cuts. This looks like a triple cut. Pick up 2/3 of the deck, place it to your left. Take this third, place it on top, out jog it just a little bit. Pick up another third, bring it over here, and place this third on top. It's just 2 single cuts and keeps the circuit from being broken. The overhand shuffles are actually just a series of single cuts. Hold the deck like you're doing an overhand shuffle, pull half the deck, drop it, half the deck, drop it. Do it in different locations in different amounts. The sloppier looking, the better. I did 9 single cuts, 3 sets of 3, keeping the circuit intact. The next cut looks like a triple cut. It's a real cut, but is the equivalent of 2 single cuts. The bottom third goes to the right, the next third goes to the left, and the top third goes in the middle. This pile goes here, this pile goes here. One more time. It looks like a triple cut. It's a real cut, but it's just 2 single cuts, once again keeping the circuit from being broken. So present your cards and do the cuts. Turn over the deck and fish through looking for your jokers. There's the first joker. A couple cards down will be the next joker. Keep an eye out for your key card. Use these fingers. Flip over that half and flip over that half. The deck is now back in order where your prediction card is 28 cards down. The reason for the key card is because depending on the cuts you did, it could be anywhere. You could end up with your key card right where you want it. No flipping required. Fan the cards and have your spectators place the 2 jokers into the deck. Make sure 1 joker is before the prediction card and 1 joker is after the prediction card. It's 28 cards down, so it's a little bit more than halfway. It's not that difficult to control participants to do this. If you miserably fail at this, I'll show you a couple of outs. Remove the 4 cards and add them together. If the number is 28, place 2 cards towards the top and 2 cards towards the bottom. Your prediction card is 28 cards down. If the number is 30, then place all 4 cards towards the top. The 30th card is the prediction card. If the number is 26, then place all 4 cards towards the bottom. The 26th card down is the prediction. This is when you do the final mix. It's a combination of a false cut and a real shuffle. It looks similar to the triple cut I already showed you, but it's not. There's the top card, there's the bottom card. The top third goes to your left, the middle third goes to your right, and the bottom third goes in the middle. This pile goes here, this pile goes here. It's a complete false cut. Now we're going to twist that up a bit. The top third goes to your left, the middle third goes to your right, bottom third goes in the middle. This pile goes on top, retaining your prediction card at 26, 28, or 30th positions. And rather than just placing this on top, we're going to mix them up a little bit. Scatter them up, it doesn't matter, any way you like. The sloppier, the better. It's very convincing. Square them up, do your countdown, have fun with the reveal, and everything can be examined. Here are a couple outs if you fail at controlling your participants to place 1 joker before the 28th card and 1 joker after the 28th card. If both jokers are placed before the 28th card, meaning somewhere in here, and the number is 30, then place all 4 cards and the 2 jokers towards the top. This will fix it. Depending on the number, Adjust the placement of the 4 cards in a way to ensure the prediction card is at the proper number. If a joker is placed on either side of the prediction card, you have a miracle. Think about it. Out of the 4 cards selected, one of them is the prediction card. This is why you never reveal what you're planning on doing until after you see the cards. And don't even do the final mix or the countdown. Do this instead. Have a participant point at any 2 of the 4 cards, and then you remove one of them. Don't remove the prediction card if they point at it. Then you point at 2 cards, not the prediction card, and have them remove one. Tell them there's only 2 cards remaining and to point at any 1 card. Ask them, are they sure they want that one? And tell them they can change their mind if they want. If they point at the prediction card, then give it to them. If they point at the other card, then you remove it just like before. Match your prediction card in the envelope with their final card. And yes, that was a magician's choice, but you've turned a complete failure into a miracle. Once again, you're clean at the end, and everything can be examined. And that is how you do that.